everybody. Welcome to another episode of Casting Notes from Rose and Kim. I'm Rose Rosen. I'm a casting director in Florida. This is Kim Swanson. She's a casting
Hello.
director in Los Angeles. How have you been?
I'm great, Rose. How are you, darling?
Good. Nice to see you.
So great to see you. I hear you on Clubhouse, but I don't get to see you as often anymore.
No, it's fun to see people move, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Faces, unusual
we'll see
idea.
in person, right? That would be something.
Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there.
We're getting there. Anyway, I'm so excited to be in another season with you. This is, I think our final season, but we have great guests. And
yes,
today we have an amazing guest. She started as an actor and currently does everything, producing, directing, you name it. And Elaine Del Valle can tell us more about yourself. Hi.
Hi.
The shortest bio, and you have such a long. I mean, I once tried to do a little spider web of all the things I do. Yours must be like crazy. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'd say I do one thing. I make films.
There you go. There you go.
Always. I make entertainment always, all days.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So, yeah. So tell us, you started as an actress and, a couple of years ago. And here you are now. You're premiering a film at South by Southwest. Just walk us through from square one a little bit.
Like you said, I began as an actress and it was about 30 years ago. And I was a commercial queen. I was on every Spanish language commercial voiceovers. I had booked the show Dora the Explorer for 11 years. And I had been studying acting at Carnegie Hall with Wynn Handman. And I felt very taken aback by the lack of roles that were being offered to me, or even auditions. Let's call it auditions being offered to me as an actress, legit film and television. And so I started writing. I wrote what became an award-winning one-woman show, Brownsville Bred, based on my autobiographical coming-of-age story. And it took off. And from there, I invited everyone who would come. And one person who came was a commercial producer who had hired me on a commercial. And after seeing my show, he said, I want to work with you every single day, but I cannot hire an actress every single day. So what else do you do? And I said, what do you need? Floors, windows, bring water. I could do anything. And he said, do you do casting? And I said, I have been in every single casting room in New York. I know a good experience from a bad experience. And I think I can make it better for the actor. And I want to try that. And I did. The first thing that I cast was a photo photography thing for AARP. And then that went really well. And then he let me move into the commercials. And so I was doing that for a while. And as you know, or as you may or may not know, ad agencies often hire outside production companies. So they come with their own producers and directors. And so those people, after working with me, started working with me on other projects. And my business grew and I built a website. And because I speak Español, porque habla Español, porque hablo Español, I became a niche. So people started coming to me for Spanish language casting outside of the sphere of those people who knew about me or had worked with me through that ad agency. Now I have clients for over 11 years, but I still kept acting and I still kept the writing because that's part of who I am and always will be. And I just love it. And I also love casting because I know what it means to the actor. I love working with the producer. I just love anything that puts me in the creative process and in charge of representing something as I see it, because I felt so much so that the industry wasn't doing that authentically.
Right.
And so I continue casting, I continue writing. And again, my show was seen by someone at HBO, a powerhouse woman, Lucinda Martinez, who's now at Netflix. And she handed me her card and said, I want to know everything you're doing from now on. And I couldn't get her to like sit in the theater because she was traveling all over the world at festivals and buying things and representing things. And so I knew that I had to move on with developing content that I could produce that she could click on. And so I wrote and produced and was in a web series called Reasons Why I'm Single. I love that process. I asked everyone, every director that I knew if they would direct it. No one wanted to because no one believed in the web series. Back then it was, not a thing really. And then I directed out of default and I fell in love with directing. I fell in love with every single aspect of it. And I didn't really know even what I was doing, except composition of frame. Of course, I hired a cinematographer to work with me, but then getting the performances from the actors was really I just loved it so much. I wanted to be the director that I wanted to have as an actor. And so that was really fulfilling to me because it just came full circle. And then I got the advice of Rashad Ernesto Green, who I consider a mentor. And he might say, Elaine, who? I'm kidding. But he told me, Elaine, if you want to keep directing, you have to start directing for short films. That's the way to grow. And so with that advice, I decided that I would direct one short film per year, made that promise to myself, and I've kept to that promise. And my last 2 short films landed on HBO with license deals. I was the Latinx Short Film Director Award winner last year amongst 3 of us. My latest film, Princess Cut, is on HBOmax right now. You can watch it. And now I became a WarnerMedia 150 artist. And what they do is they actually provide seed money to provocative voices, different voices, and they gave me a grant. And I knew that I wanted to, I felt like I was already excelling in short films and I had to make that leap with an aim to direct for episodic television. And so I took the grant money, which is usually in the 150 sphere. And, usually artists are making proof of concepts to say, hey, here's my proof of concept, help me make the rest or help me do more of that. But I knew that I could make the first act of what will be my directorial debut in a feature film, and that I could use that in this festival pilot category that to me is a very exciting category. I always love all of the films that I see in the pilot category, and that I would put it in competition. I would, submit it. And I'm so fortunate to have been accepted by South by Southwest. Dream come true. And that is where we're going to be making our premiere in a pilot category with what is the first act of my feature film directorial debut.
Bravo.
Thank you. I left out the fact that should it go, should somebody see it and say, oh yeah, this is a pilot, we can make this into a series. I'm very ready for that because I also continued, as I said, writing. And last year I sold a pilot to CBS, an original 1-hour drama procedural. So I know how to do that. And I'm so ready to be in the fold and just be able to make higher budget things because I want to play with all of those toys because I'm such a film geek.
Right.
I have
That's
a question
awesome.
for you. Is there, and I really don't know this, so for our audience too, are there pilots for both TV and films? I didn't know.
No, this is a pilot category that's meant for television, but in the South by Southwest space, if you go on their website, and I wish I had it in front of me, but if you go on their website and look at the pilot category, they say exactly that it's meant for indie projects that are, looking for exactly what I described that I'm looking for, a partner to come in with me, a Macro, an HBO, a Warner, anybody to say, I believe in you, let's make this.
Amazing.
And let's do this together. So that would be awesome. And I'm ready to just create and learn from those people who have done much more than I have, and people like like an Ava DuVernay, like that would be dream come true, right? Mindy Kaling, that would be like, wow, if I could just get the attention of that kind of person to really be my mentor and help execute the rest of it, and which I would do whether or not I'm going to find that person. I'm going to continue on this journey.
Right.
Amazing. How do you organize your days? This is, I'm curious about this also.
Oh Lord, it's getting harder and harder every single day. I have to say I keep a calendar
Yeah.
on my phone. So everything is by the calendar. And I always have to say I have to check my calendar. And I'm really feeling like now I do need an assistant for the first time in my life. So I just go by what the needs are. I've been saying for a long time, way before I was this busy, I used to say, I run a production company. It's a film studio. And in that film studio, there are various departments. And my needs go to which department needs me most. And I make decisions based on that.
So like every day you don't like write or do anything in particular every day. You do what is needed for that day. Is that correct?
That is correct, but I'm always doing something. So the writing, I actually belong to a writers group that is virtual. It's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every single day, Eastern Standard Time. We go in for every hour on the hour, and we take a 5-minute breaks, and we just state our intention and begin writing. So when I don't have something else to do, that is what I'm doing. Because
that's in Clubhouse, right?
No, that's actually not in Clubhouse. It's a very small group. It's about 6 women, and sometimes it's just 1 or 2 women.
Right.
But we're very dedicated to it. And when we miss it, well, at least when I miss it, I feel like, oh, what have I done? I missed I missed it. Like I missed out myself.
Yeah.
And I haven't been on for a week or so because I'm still an actor and I'm still performing, and I happen to be on The Residence as a guest star this week. And so this week has been a little tough to do that, and in preparation with the promos for South by Southwest as well. But I intend on going right back to that writer's room for myself because I have a lot more ideas that I really want to develop.
What's your favorite aspect of film production to work in? Is it acting, directing, writing? If you had to pick just one thing.
Please not one, please not one. It's got to be directing and acting. When I, this week I was in front of the camera a lot, and I just looked over to my scene partner, Gary Perez, and I said to him, I really love acting. I just love it. And I find it easier than directing for sure, because there's so much responsibility, that there's so many decisions that come into the directing. So that's definitely more challenging, and I just love it for so many other reasons, especially pulling out the performance from the performer that I know is there because I cast them, because I saw that, and then I crafted the writing to match that and the story and everything. So I mean, I'm a film geek, so I love directing like that, and then acting is a joy. And directing, I always say when I go into it, savor every moment. Whether it's 100 degrees outside, the sun is shining, everyone's complaining, I'm hungry. But I don't even feel those things, by the way. I don't feel heat or hunger when I'm directing because I'm so entrenched in what it is that I'm doing. So it's really hard to decide. And then, if I were being offered scripts that were amazing, I wouldn't need to be writing. That I felt that were authentic, I wouldn't need to be writing. So I look forward to the moment when I'm being offered scripts like that.
Right.
But in the meantime, I'm all for it because creating is such a powerful tool, and that starts with the writing. So it's really everything. I'm sorry that I can't decide, and I won't decide. And casting is a great gig, and I make money at it, and I love my clients, and I love giving actors opportunities. So, but putting it all aside, if I had the wherewithal, I would have a writer's room that I'm in charge of, that I would be the showrunner delegating. And then I would have a casting department that also I get the final, and I would, have people working for me that I believe have my same pattern of thinking in terms of what is talent, where
Mhm.
they fit. And I have found that person. She's actually my producer, Adrian Lovett, but we're not able to do that yet together as much as we would like to, but we do it together.
Well,
So
speaking of casting, do you find that, for me, I think the best gift for an actor is to have a director or a casting director who has been or is currently an actor as well, right? Because I feel like you know that you can read them, you understand what they're needing, wanting to get that good performance out of them. And I think also having that training as an actor is hugely helpful. How do you, can you talk about that?
yes, many of the actors that I've worked with have said, I am an actor's director. I speak the language. I'm not afraid to talk to the actors like that, because I know that that is what I want and need as an actor. And I look forward to that.
Right.
Now, that said, when I go on to set, I don't expect it. And so I come prepared. I have craft. I've studied, and I take it really seriously. I know all of my lines. I don't want to be the cause to make the day go longer into overtime or whatever. So I come at it really centered on what the needs are for the in service of the show or the film. That's how I come at that. But yeah, actors tell me I'm an actor's director, and that's the highest compliment in my opinion.
Yes, agreed. Bravo. And I love you talking about coming prepared, knowing your lines and centered and ready to go. And your purpose is to keep the day from not being expanded for everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, the other day we finished like 2 hours early on The Resident. I was like, we kicked butt. I was so happy to be a part of, making the day go by faster for everyone. So that was, and then, I didn't answer the question on casting, because it's funny, because in casting, I'm quite the opposite. When I let talent in, I want to see what they bring.
Right.
Only what they bring.
Right.
I want their decisions, because I want to collaborate with that.
Yes.
Right.
And so, but then once they have the role, I know what sparked that for me to give them the role. And so that's what I dive into deeply when I'm directing. Big difference.
Big difference. Now, what would
That's
you
great.
telegraph
Great.
to a young actor who, just starting the business and wants to do everything? What would what would you say? What is an important thing to say to a young actor just starting out?
I think don't do everything just starting out. I really worked my craft. I studied for years under legends. I did a one-woman show. The opportunities will organically grow from your commitment to your work. And then once you feel for me, I was just bubbling over with, I got to do something about this, because I am working to that extent. And so, the writing and the performing on stage with my one-woman show, that really grew out of my own growth. So, don't do everything at once, really hone that craft. And then, I was directing web series, and I then understood that I had to grow in the craft of directing.
Right.
And I really studied that. I poured years into it. And I continue to grow as a director. Every single time I'm on set, I grow as a director. I take seminars. I'm a part of the Sundance. I'm a Sundance lab director. And so I take all of the labs that I possibly can. I'm always learning. I even on Instagram, I'm a part of like filmmakers forums where, I'm just looking at how it's done, because I don't have the money to do all those bells and whistles stuff. So I'm just always trying to learn. And so, let everything grow from from the other thing. And the writing, you know, I was an actor. I started writing my one-woman show. So then I grew as a writer. And then I took Sundance labs in episodic, and I learned how to write episodic, and I continue to do all of that. So it's all craft, and you must study it and be really good at something before you try to jump into something else, which is not often the advice that you hear me doing, because I'm always saying, go for it, go for it, go for it. But, you know, you're making me stop and think at it for a moment, and it, you know, don't put so much pressure on yourself. Really hone in on what you love, and everything grew from my love of acting. So
Love
I
that.
love that. And what I heard was just keep learning, keep learning, keep learning.
yes.
And you know, you are amazing. I mean, we loved having you. Thank you so much. Good luck with your Brownsville Bred. I know it's going to be successful and everything, you know, best of luck. You're just a little star.
Thank you so much for your time, Elaine. We loved having you. You're just a wonderful inspiration and just such great energy. And we're so grateful you were with us today.
No,
Thank you so much. And thank you for making this forum for actors to learn, because I know back then I really would have like just eaten up this information. So this is very valuable to everyone watching, and I appreciate your time and your recognition of the work. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell.
Yay! Thanks so much.